Morning people, we're finally back out on the river. It's a bit more flooded than we thought it would be. That's why we've got the big old pod out, have all the rods up quite high. I'm going for pike and whatever's about. I've got the stalker rod right in the slack, so we'll see what happens. Sardines usual, it's November, I like pike fishing. I think I'm with Aaron today, he's going to be doing pike fishing and he's got some worms as well, he's going to probably get some chub and that sort of stuff, so I'll keep posted. I'll show you the river as well because it is really flooded, it's probably the fastest I've ever seen it. So yeah, I'll keep posted and hopefully we'll get some fish and you enjoy the video. There you are guys, this is what I'm saying, it's really high. I'm fishing this slack bit here just off the tuff there, just to see if there's any chub or anything there with the little stalking rod on the left there, and then we've got this big open expanse of water and there's like a crease all along there, and that's where we're going to stick our baits. Well, I'm going to try and put one rod up there, I'm going to walk it round and chuck it in, walk it back, just because I don't know, it's weird, and then we've got all slack sort of running along here as well, so that's where we're going to be fishing today, and then if a bit hold bottom we might try a bit further out, but as it stands it'll probably just be slack because as you can see it is really punching through. So yeah guys, while the fish is slow, I just want to take a bit of a time to talk about my new toy I got. It's one of these guys, the old Deeper Pro, or Deeper Start, to be honest. Pretty cool bit of gear really. I'll show you some screenshots of my phone and stuff like that if you tell I've got cold by the way. Really good at finding features. I didn't expect for the price to be really that good, but yeah, no, really good. It locates fish, but I don't know if it actually is accurate, but yeah, no, it's a pretty cool little bit of gear. I'll show you some screenshots. I might do a proper review on it later, but at the moment I'm just using it, having a bit of fun with it. Found out where we're fishing is about 3-4 foot deep, and it drops right down to about 9 foot a bit further out. The sheep are coming to get me, as I'll show you. The sheep. But yeah, no, other than that, it's a really good bit of gear. I've got mine on an ugly stick with a 30-pound mono. I use the clip it come with, and you just set up to your phone and stuff like that, and you cast away. It's a really good bit of kit. And for like 90 quid, it don't break the bank, but it is, for what it is quite worth it. So just thought I'd show you that, see what you thought. But yeah, I'll probably do a little review on it, and we'll see what else we can find. But I'll keep you updated. Here we are with a herd of sheep. As you can see, watch them as they migrate through the field line, looking for water sources and food. Some might say they're a dumb creature. I think they're quite a staggering creature. Look at them all staring at me. Look at them all. They're like, what the hell are we? They're the people who feed us. But anyway. Right, so the fishing's still a bit slow. So Aaron's just putting some worms on, just to see if we can catch anything else. Excuse the block nose, by the way, I've just mentioned it before. Just poured myself a brew. And I'm going to make some traces. Just why not, you know, everyone makes cart rigs and stuff like that, so I'm just going to make some traces. So what you're going to need some good pliers and a crimping tool. This Fox Rage one is both in one go. You're going to need some trebles. Got some trebles. Some trace. This one is E-Sox 7 strand. It's in £28. Excuse the alarm going off. Some crimps. And just all like shrink tubing and stuff like that. So we're going to start with the trace itself. So this E-Sox one, what you actually got to do, you actually got to heat it with a lighter to like fuse it together so they don't fray when you cut it. So that's what I'm going to do. I do about 18 inches. I do very long traces. I think it's because like the head of an adult female pike is like 18 inches in circumference. So what you're going to do is you're going to, I don't know if that's in focus, you want to heat it up until it goes white hot like that. And what you want to do is cut it where you've done the heat, like so, So now it's fused together, it's not frayed, and nor is it on that. So the way I like to work from the business end to the swivel. Some people like to do it the other way around, but that's just how I like to do it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off with putting on a crimp. Just get a crimp out for you. So what you're going to do is you're going to get crimp, you're going to thread it onto the trace, like so. It's a bit hard with my eyesight, like that. So it's on the trace like that. And then you take your first hook. I'm using, I think it's like size 4 something or other, predator hook things. It's whatever your preference is. Some people use like Fox Rage, some people use other stuff. And then what you want to do is you want to thread it onto the trace like that, and then back through like you're making a loop. So back on itself through the crimp. So what I like to do is I like to leave a little bit of a tag, and that just does, if there's any slippage or anything like that, it's sort of stuck. See, it's like that on a loop, and I have that loop quite large, just so it's got that freedom of movement. If I was going to do like a live bait rig, it would just be the one hook, but we're going to put 2, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But now I'm just going to crimp that with a crimping tool, wherever my crimping tool is. Best way to do this is use the big crimp first. So you just set in the tool, crimp it, like so, and then put it into the smaller crimp, and crimp it again. And that's nice and tight there. You might want to turn it on the side, just crimp it again. That's nice and tight on there now. Okay, nice and tight. And what you can do is put a bit of shrink tubing over that, just so it's nice and neat. I do my shrink tubing a bit different on traces. Some people use a kettle. I ain't got a kettle to hand, so I'm just going to use a lighter at the moment. The whole point of this is just protect that joint. So that's what I'm going to do now. Get my lighter decides to light today. So that's shrinking all around it. There we are, that's all shrinked onto that nice, and that's. Have you noticed I've not covered the loop though, so we've still got that freedom of movement there. Alright. So let's put the next hook on. And the way you want to do this is almost a bit like, it depends if you want it slide or not. I don't have mine sliding, I have mine fixed. So what I tend to do is I do it like almost like if I'm tying a knotless knot for a cart brig. So what I do is without hooking yourself in the bollocks, I use mainly sardines, so you can measure this up to whatever you want. So I have about a couple of inches, and then what I do is I just lasso it around 4 or 5 times, like you would if in a knotless knot, like that, like so. 5 times, bring it up. And what you want to do without like looping the other hook in, just pull it tight. Nice and tight, and then what you're going to do over that, just to secure that into place, you can put some more shrink tubing over that as well. So this one goes right over everything, so it's all secured in place. And you're going to heat that up. And what this does is just secures it in place. Just going to do that, try and get that on camera for you. That's all shrunk onto that. So now the business end is done pretty much, essentially. Okay? And then what you want to do for your swivel end, you're going to do the exact same what you did for the hook when you started. Just trying to have a look, see if the float's gone. No, the float's not gone yet. Rods are okay. So what I do first is I put a bit of shrink tube on first, and then you get your swivel, wherever my swivels are. Put your swivel on, fold it out. Sorry, you take the swivel off, put the crimp on. Just gonna have to edit this bit out. Give me 2 seconds, I'm just gonna get a swivel. Sorry, I just cut there because I was just getting a swivel. So the swivels I use are a big eye swivel. So what you want to do is, so let's just rephrase that last bit. Put a crimp on first. Put a crimp on first, like I'm doing now. Actually, right, let's just start this all over. Right, shrink tubing first, sorry. Then you crimp. So it's all threaded on the line. You got shrink tubing and you crimp. Then you swivel. Then what you want to do is pass the line back through on itself, like you did with the first hook. So like so. Don't know if you can see that. So back on itself. Leave a little tag as well, just so there's no slip. Pull it tight. Have a bit of movement there if you need to. And then you get your crimping tools. And in the same way again, you put the big one in first. Put in the big crimp part first. Crimp that down. And then once that's done, put in the smaller bit, crimp it tighter. Like so. That's all nice and crimped for you. Oh, dear me. Then bring your shrink tubing up. Right over, like so. Get your lighter or kettle, whatever how you do it. Heat it up so it's nice and tight. And there you go. It's all done. Now you've got a nice long custom made trace for however long you want it. So if you're doing perch, you might want to do a short trace or use a braided trace or whatever you want to do. But there you go, you've got two nice hooks, nice and set on there, a nice long trace to a nice wide swivel. So that's how you basically make a trace. Go get it back on the rod, get it back out and see if we can get pike. So we're halfway through the session anyway, we haven't had a fish yet or anything like that, so it's been a bit quiet, but it's still, I mean, I'm still out. It's good. This time normally I don't normally bring food and stuff like that, and it makes me want to go home quite quickly, but like today I brought like soup and stuff like that, so yeah, it's quite a nice day actually. A bit cold, but what can you hope for really, you know what I mean? Chill a bit. So again, while we're waiting for pike and all that stuff, let's talk about pike safety now. Let's talk about unhooking. Because a lot of pike do die because they're not unhooked properly, or they're not, that's debris I think, yeah, not unhooked properly, or people don't have they have inadequate stuff to unhook pike, or they're not competent and stuff like that. So first of all, make sure you have decent unhooking equipment. So first of all, make sure you have a decent pair of pliers, surgical secateurs, I don't know what they're called, surgical pliers, all that stuff. Or like I've got pistol grip pliers. These are amazing. I find these excellent as well because you don't have to actually get your hand right in there. And they're springed. They're on springs, so you don't have to, you know, open them in that. And then just I've got a big pair of pliers with a bent tip just for ease of access and stuff like that. I've got both just in case like you need to go through the gill or something. And then on top of that, I've also got wire cutters if I need to ultimately cut a wire, just say it is deeply hooked, can't get to it, or it's hooked in a weird way and it's trapped, cut the wire. Obviously fish safety is, you don't want rigs trailing, you know, that's another one. if you find a pike with like traces caught up in it, use pliers to get rid of them or cut them out and stuff like that with the pliers, cut the barbs off and stuff. And then one which I don't see many people carry at all, if anyone carry, I think I've seen a few people, is one of these. A lot of people don't know what this is, but this is actually a deep throat disgorger. This is a tool used to go right down into the throat, using the end of it to get the trebles out, and it's got this nice little lip there where the trebles hook into, so it don't get hooked on the way back out. And if you get a deep hook pike, this is an awesome tool to have, and I've not seen them sold very often this size anymore. They're normally half the size, which is useless. You need a decent long one. I mean, if you think that's easy going to be, I mean, if that's the throat there, a pike's mouth's easy going to come to that sort there, and you need that extra handle. And if you've got one half this length, the pike's mouth's going to come to about there. You're going to have to stick your hand in the pike's mouth. It's just not safe for you or the pike. So I highly advise. This one is called a deep throat pike disgorger. This one's a John Roberts one. I don't know if you can buy them anymore, but I got mine from my local tackle shop. Highly advise getting one of these. If I ever get a deep hook pike, I'll show you how to use them, but I rarely do get deep hook pikes. So hopefully you'll never have to use one of these, alright? But that's just a little brief description on all the unhooking stuff and that sort of thing. Make sure you carry a mat with you. So many pike fishermen I see don't carry mats. Or if you're lure fishing, you can't carry a mat, unhook them in the net while they're in the water. I did that in the summer. A lot of people were like, "Oh, you're not using the net," but the fish never left the water. They unhooked in the net, in the water. They never leave the water. Make sure you've got a decent net. I use a 42-inch. It's stupid big, to be honest. I use it for cats and carp and stuff. Not that I catch any catfish, but just make sure you've got a decent net, decent unhooking mat. And when you can, try not to take the pike out of the water, especially in the summer months. If don't fish them for at all, really, unless it is cool and there's a well oxygenated water like a weir or something like that. But always carry decent unhooking stuff for a pike. And I think someone's away. So yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you. We didn't catch nothing. No, we're calling it a day. It's been a long one. As you can see, the river is pretty flooded. We tried it. Give it a go. Come out. What more can you want, really? Well, fish for a start. Hey, yeah. So I hope you like this video. It's quite nice to start filming again and all that stuff, even if it is freezing and you keep getting hooks in your bollocks and stuff like that. So yeah, it is been good, so not a problem. I will see you on the bank sometime. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe.